counting down the minutes to the first pitch of today's game.
Yes!
Who's in the starting lineup?
Come on, son, you got to get out there and take the mound. It's game time.
What does the skipper have to say?
It's an attitude, you got to be willing to defend. You got to be willing to base run, or you can't play here.
It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wortz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome into the Leadoff Show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Milwaukee Brewers back in action again today, back at American Family Field after a 6-game road trip. Aaron Ashby to be the opener today for the Milwaukee Brewers, with the assumption, we all know, Chad Patrick will be the first man out of the bullpen, the traditional starter for your Milwaukee Brewers. But Ashby's going to get the first inning or so, going up against Jake Irvin of the Washington Nationals. 6:40 first pitch from American Family Field. Game number 13, and we got a roster move. Shane Drowan option. Easton McGee recalled from AAA Nashville.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Thanks again to Lakeland University for being a part of the Leadoff Show. Experience it your way, lakeland.edu. First up for the Washington Nationals, leading off in right field today, it'll be James Wood. Curtis Mead at first base will bat second. Dalen Lyle in left field will bat third. Brady House at third base bats cleanup for Washington. C.J. Abrams at shortstop will bat fifth. Joey Weimer, old friend, in center field will bat sixth. Luis Garcia is the DH batting seventh. Your beat Vijas is the second baseman batting eighth. And Keibert Ruiz behind the dish will round things out for the Nationals. Now for your Milwaukee Brewers. Bryce Terang back in the lineup, leading off at second base. William Contreras is catching, batting second. Christian Yelich, the DH, will bat third. Garrett Mitchell in the 4 spot in center field for the Crew. Jake Bowers at first base will bat fifth. Luis Rengifo at third base will bat sixth. Sal Frelick in right field, batting seventh today. Blake Perkins is the left fielder, batting eighth. Rounding things out for the Crew, the shortstop batting ninth, David Hamilton. Well, welcome back, as we had an off day of Brewers baseball, now returning back to American Family Field. The 2 bits of news that, if you missed it in that first part there, Shane Drowan, we all heard he was optioned back down to AAA Nashville yesterday. Easton McGee officially has been recalled from AAA Nashville. He is the corresponding move. And Chad Patrick, who is scheduled to start today, will actually be the first man out of the bullpen, with an opener scheduled for Aaron Ashby. It'll be Ashby's 8th game of the season already for the Milwaukee Brewers. 3-0 at 2.79 ERA so far this year for Ashby. Chad Patrick, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is with this Brewers team and openers and Aaron Ashby. I said to Mitch Nellis today earlier, I just want someone to love me as much as Pat Murphy loves Aaron Ashby, but he will be the first man up, starting technically for the Brewers today. They are debuting, of course. You can see my hat if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/@WI Sports Radio. The new City Connect uniforms tonight, which were designed to represent the entire state of Wisconsin. The team will don the uniforms for the entire series versus the Washington Nationals and 12 other home games this season. Feels like they're going all out for those 15 games this weekend. Again, with the W that, if you can kind of see it on the top of my hat here, very similar to the Washington Nationals W, as they'll be debuting them tonight against those Nationals. Brewers, second best record in all of baseball right now, 8-4, 3-3 on that road trip. Not too much to talk about with the last game, but it's kind of obligatory to talk about it.
Did you miss the last game? Did you miss what was said after the last game? It's time to rewind. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Shane Drowan made his big league debut going up against Sonny Gray, who was pitching for the 21st time against the Milwaukee Brewers in his career. Drowan, a rough showing, 2 2/3, 3 earned runs in the contest. 63 pitches, just 28 of them were for strikes. That all kind of weighing into why he was optioned back down to Nashville after the performance, while Sonny Gray was dominant on the other side. 6 1/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, no runs for Sonny Gray. The Brewers would fall 5-0. Not a lot of highlights to play from the game 2 days ago. 8-4 now the Brewers on the season, as the Boston Red Sox would improve to 4-8. Milwaukee, a couple of news and notes from the last series. Wanted to talk about actually the road trip in general. The Brewers had 6 games on the road. A couple of people really shining during that stretch, while plenty leaving room for improvement. So let's start with the bad, right? Bryce Terang, who was banged up, didn't play in the last game of the series. It's back in the lineup today, as was to be expected. He had a rough road trip, 1 for 15, 0.67 batting average during the trip to Kansas City and to Boston. Luis Rengifo, 4 for 23 on the road trip. That's 174. Gary Sanchez was 2 for 13 during that stretch, one of those being the homer in Kansas City. And of course, Jake Bauers as well was just 1 for 15 during that time. However, a couple of positives during that stretch. Sal Frelick hit 375 on the road trip, a big road trip to Kansas City and Boston for him, and now on a 5-game hitting streak during that stretch. David Hamilton hit 364 during his time on the road. Garrett Mitchell, perhaps maybe the biggest road trip of them all. He was 5 for 15, had 8 runs driven in those 6 games as well. And Christian Yelich was absolutely the captain of the team, 364 during the trip to Kansas City and to Boston. However, you want to put a little bit of a bow on that final game against the Red Sox. For reference, here was Pat Murphy speaking a little bit about Shane Drowan's performance and just the overall not uncharacteristic day from the Milwaukee Brewers.
It looked like Drowan, some of those misses were
close,
like right on the border.
Yeah, umpire was tight. He was tight. He did a good job, but I think it puts you in a tough spot where he's behind the count. I'm proud of him. I think he did a lot of good things as a debut here, freezing cold. Couldn't get the grip on the baseball in the beginning. I don't know that he'll admit that to you, but we were trying to give him ways to get a little better grip. Anyway, I thought he did some good things, but you can't walk. How many do you walk? 5 or 4? Yeah, you can't walk 4 and 2 2/3. And although we limited the damage, they hit a ball in the infield. You know what I mean? It scored runs. So the one they hit out of the infield to score the 3rd run was sacrifice fly. So, yeah, a lot of good things. But it's a cold night. We weren't sharp defensively. 3 or 4 plays that we didn't make ended up creating runs. Now, they might have been tough plays, but the bunt, the lack of communication, play at second base where he tried to reach and tag the guy is an easy flip double play. He hasn't played much second this year. And the other play at second that they gave a hit to, but maybe could have been made. That's the game, that defense. So not sharp on defense, but again, guys, 4 of our top 6 hitters are not playing. You know what I mean? Contreras and Terang, Vaughn and Churio. You got 4 of your top 6 not playing. You're going to be in for it, and you got to make those plays defensively. Keep yourself close. And credit to Sonny Gray. I mean, there's a reason a guy earns $30 million a year. There's a reason that he can still pitch. He really can pitch. He made pitches at big times. Didn't give in. Yeah.
Might be kind of tricky to know exactly what went wrong with Drowan, considering you just haven't seen him. You haven't seen him.
Yeah,
so much
I know he's better than that. He's got a good breaking ball. He didn't really get to it because of that, but the walks is what did him in, and defense that was not our normal sharp defense.
Saying you couldn't get to the breaking ball because of the field?
Yeah.
What do you do to try to combat that?
Well, I mean, when it's freezing cold and stuff like that, it's hard. I know I'll just leave it at that.
What do you want him to take away from the first experience? Be careful. What do you want him to just like learn and take away from this?
Exactly. That's what it is. It's a learning experience. I've been out there. I got through it. Okay, that's my debut. It wasn't 5 innings of shutout, but it very easily could have been 4 innings of shutout. Very easily. Didn't get some calls. I want him to learn that, hey, there's a real fine line between good and great, and this could have been great.
I feel like it's starting to feel like you're missing some bats now after you survived them pretty well for a couple of weeks.
Last 2 days have been rough. When you miss 4 of your top, just think of other teams around. If you miss 4 of your top guys, it's going to make it tough on you. So. But the guys, it's not that they didn't try, that's for sure.
Still look like Terang will be back Friday.
I sure hope so.
What about Churio? This checkup he has tomorrow. Is there a chance for him to move quickly after that?
I would think fairly quickly. You don't want to disadvantage the kid, but if they think it's healed, or 90-some% healed, they think they'll move ahead, hopefully. That's the case. I think William needed that day, and we'll get hopefully Terang and him back, and Churio forthcoming, and then Vaughn is probably 3 or 4 weeks away.
There is the manager, Pat Murphy, speaking to the media after the game. Brewers lose 5-0 in Boston just a couple of days ago. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. A couple of bits of information want to get you guys ready for as we start to transition into Brewers Nationals ahead of today. Easton McGee was recalled today from AAA Nashville for Shane Drowan after you heard Murphy talking about the rough outing in his major league debut. His numbers so far in Nashville do not jump off the page in any good way by any means for McGee. 4 games so far, a 9.53 ERA. That is 6 earned runs across his 5 2/3 innings. However, he made 9 relief appearances last year with Milwaukee, had a 5.52 during those 5 stints with the team. Everyone assuming that he is just going to be a game is over type pitcher during this stretch, whether it is he will be on there when the Brewers are up a lot or down a lot. A couple of other people I wanted to mention, as we brought up with Aaron Ashby, he's going to be making his 8th appearance so far in the year. One that I think has kind of slipped my mind that I didn't realize, Grant Anderson is also got 7 games appeared in this year and has been dynamite during that stretch. 4 for 28. That's what hitters are hitting against Grant Anderson right now, a 2.25 ERA in his stint so far with the Brewers. DL Hall has 5 games in right now in which he has not surrendered an earned run. I know he came in for the Miz, and Jacob Mizorowski was responsible for all 3 of those runs that would come across. But another guy, a lot of people, everyone available, you would assume, after the off day yesterday. Brewers and Nationals. Last year, the Brewers swept the series against the Washington Nationals, went 6-0 against Washington. The Brewers did that against 2 teams last year, the Washington Nationals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, how rare is that in Brewers form? They've only ever done that 4 other times. They did it against the Marlins in 98, San Francisco in 08, the Marlins again in 2011, and Philadelphia in 2015. It had been 10 years since the Brewers had swept any series against any sort of opponent, and they did it twice last year. One of them was against the Washington Nationals. And Pat Murphy talking a little bit about the uncharacteristic defense of the Milwaukee Brewers in that game against Boston. They have the fewest errors in Major League Baseball, just 1 all season long. You got to go back to 6 days ago against Kansas City, the Brewers committing the only error they have all year in the first 12 games. On the other side, I'll get you a little more information in regards to today's game, a couple of stats that jump out as to when the Brewers win games and when the Brewers lose games early on in the year, just through 12 so far in the championship season, as Tim Allen would say. We'll catch you up on Eye on the Enemy. The Brewers have a lot of experience against Jake Irvin. And how has Chad Patrick done this year? All of that coming up and more. Not to mention, we'll do our betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook today, as we'll check in over there. And a fantastic Building a Winner feature coming up later on, talking about Blake Burke, Jesus Madej. It's been all good in Biloxi. How are the rest of the levels doing? That's coming up later on in the show. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Brewers lineup, in case you missed it earlier in the show. Bryce Terang at second base will lead off. He is back in the lineup today for the Crew. William Contreras is catching, batting second. Christian Yelich, the DH, will bat third. Garrett Mitchell in center field bats fourth today. Jake Bowers at first base will bat fifth. Luis Rengifo at third base will bat sixth. Sal Frelick in right field batting seventh today. Blake Perkins in left field will bat eighth. And David Hamilton, the shortstop, rounds things out. He bats ninth today for the Crew.
Line drive, base hit, down the left field line.
Let's see what the skipper has to say heading into today's game. Let's head to the coach's corner. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Typically, we have the sound from the manager, Pat Murphy, before every game. None today. It'll be back the next couple of days. Sorry, just what I got out there isn't working today, all right? I give everyone a day off every once in a while. A programming note for this show, just in case anyone is wondering or cares, which is probably few. It's all right. I'll be out Sunday. Mitch Thunder Nellis will be filling in on the leadoff show for the pregame coverage for me, as well as the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show with Tim Allen. Mitch Nellis will be in my chair. He'll do a fine job. Everyone be nice to Mitch Nellis. He loves the Brewers just as much as all you guys, I swear. But a couple of notes I have, and this coming from The Beat, Adam McCalvey, Todd Rosiak, Dave Gasper, all doing a fantastic job covering the Milwaukee Brewers down there. So some notes from Pat Murphy's pregame presser that I can give to you that was asked today in regards. So the first one, if you guys did not check ahead or don't remember, the rotation got a little messed up. It's a little different. While Aaron Ashby is going to open today, Chad Patrick will be the first man out of the pen. We'll see. There is a good assumption that Aaron Ashby could go 2 innings at the beginning of this game, if looking at it correctly, because of the lineup for the Nationals. James Wood, Dalen Lyle, CJ Abrams, all lefties within the first 5 batters. Joey Weimer would be that 6th batter. You would think that they're going to let Aaron Ashby try to get 2 innings to start this game. And then Chad Patrick comes in. However, they bump up Kyle Harrison. He's going to get to start on Saturday. That was where Brandon Sproat was scheduled to pitch. And then Brandon Woodruff gets bumped up to Sunday. That was not where he was. That was where Harrison was scheduled to pitch during this. Brandon Sproat, however, from Pat Murphy, will remain a part of the Brewers rotation. They shuffled the order with matchups in mind, and because of yesterday's off day meant that they could. So everyone's still on their regular schedule, just moving everyone up in the rotation, not messing up the days of rest for guys like Harrison and for Woodruff. A couple of other things to bring up. Andrew Vaughn got his stitches out of his hand. However, that wound's going to need to heal before he can build back up his hand strength. Again, we're looking at sometime in May for a return for Andrew Vaughn, probably late May at that as well. And Jackson Chourio is progressing throughout this. He will continue to run the bases. He'll continue to throw until he is cleared to begin taking swings. So not yet cleared to swing is Jackson Chourio, but looking like he is progressing, that his date should not be anytime, late April again is what we were hearing. We heard mid to late April. I don't know if 5 days is going to make any difference on Jackson Chourio and that he will be in the lineup for then. But as of right now, no setbacks in his progression. And is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you, getting you ready for Brewers Nationals. Aaron Ashby opening against Jake Irvin today. And that'll set us up beautifully for our next topic.
Nobody likes them.
Craig Counsell returning to American Family Field.
We all want to see them lose.
It's not my job to tell people how to feel about something or even to figure it out.
let people feel how they want to feel. And I'm good with that, and I think it doesn't have to be all positive.
It's time to eye up the enemy for today's game. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Probably works if I turn the mic on. Eye on the enemy as we look at this Nationals versus Brewers matchup. Chad Patrick, not a lot of experience against this Nationals lineup. Virtually none, as everyone will be facing him for the first time. However, Jake Irvin has a little bit of a history against the Milwaukee Brewers, and it's not all that good. 6 starts against the Brewers with an ERA of 6.59. He's pitched 28 2/3 innings during that stretch. Has struck out 22 batters in that time. Some notable stats for Brewers against Jake Irvin. Bryce Terang, 3 for 14 in his career. William Contreras is 4 for 14. However, 2 of those being big flies. Christian Yelich has had a great run against Irvin, 6 for 11. Garrett Mitchell, 2 for 4 with a homer in his time as well. I got Scott tweeting at me on Twitter saying that he's calling a Jake Bauers bounce back game. Well, he has not had that success against Irvin so far. 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts in his career against Irvin. Who needs to really get hot for this Brewers team? See a little something? Luis Rengifo. He's 2 for 2 off of Irvin in his career. As right now to start 2026, Luis Rengifo hitting just 167 right now, an OPS of 488. Would love to see things start to roll for Rengifo. Sal Frelick, 5 for 13. Blake Perkins has a hit, and David Hamilton looking for his first hit against Irvin, but he does have 3 ABs against him already. There's a couple of stats that we're going to monitor throughout the year in regards to the Milwaukee Brewers. There was a number last year that if the Brewers got to that total, success followed, and that was scoring 4 runs in a contest. Milwaukee last year was fantastic when they scored 4 or more runs. I believe it was something like 82-17 when they put up 4 runs in a ball game. This year, no different. When the Brewers score 4 or more in a game, they are 8-0 so far on the season. Do we know the Brewers' record this year? They are 8-4. All 4 of those losses, they have scored 3 or less runs during the 2026 campaign. The other side of it, scoring first versus the opponent scoring first. Brewers have not scored first all that often in games, just 3 times. However, they are undefeated in those 3 games right now. The opponent scoring first puts the Brewers near 500. They are 5-4 during that stretch. Those are the 2 numbers that, again, looking at it last year, very much in the same thing. Now, scoring first, any team can probably look at that. The 4 or more mark is pretty interesting for this Brewers team. You know how locked down the bullpen is. We commented about a few of them, right? What Grant Anderson has done so far this year, how Aaron Ashby has been utilized. But other guys in there, Abner Uribe, he's been fantastic. I think everyone very satisfied with what Angel Serpa has brought so far in his 5 games of work for the Milwaukee Brewers. I think that those are 2 numbers that we're going to have to watch very closely again all year. Getting to 4 translates to a lot of success for this Milwaukee Brewers team, and that was the case last year. Very much the same case this season when talking about Brewers baseball. It is the leadoff show. I want to get you guys some Chad Patrick stuff here as he's going to make his 3rd appearance of the season. He last pitched on Saturday against Kansas City in the first game of the doubleheader. He got the victory in which he went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 walks, but did have 86 pitches in the contest and 3 strikeouts. His first outing of the year was against the Chicago White Sox. If you remember that one, he went 4 1/3 on March 28th with 1 earned run. That is the only earned run he has so far this year. In 9 1/3 innings, Patrick has a .96 ERA in that time, 7 strikeouts, looking to add on to more of what he has done in his Brewers tenure thus far. Coming up later on in the show, we'll continue to look ahead at Brewers and Nationals as we'll get you some keys to the game near the end of this, get you some of the betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Have awesome news to give you guys in regards to the minor league system. And speaking of, the Brewers did make a signing. Reese Nur is going to get a minor league deal. They signed Reese to the minor league deal yesterday, according to the transactions tracker at MLB.com. He's been assigned to the Arizona Complex League, which kicks off at the beginning of May. I believe May 1st is the opening day. I got it right here. Let me just check. May 2nd is opening day for the Complex League. That's where he's going to go. However, it's likely a build-up move following their injury shortened showing, his injury shortened showing back in AAA in El Paso in 2025. And he will probably go into that upper level of minor league ball. Reese Nur signed to a minor league deal for the Milwaukee Brewers. Former 20th round pick by the Padres, limited major league action in his 3 seasons so far, did appear in 21 games out of the bullpen for most of his outings so far, has made 7 starts and could have a similar starter type role, opener role, maybe for the Brewers in the event of injury at the major league side. 5.96 ERA, however, at the big league level. I don't think they're looking to get Reese Nur up here quite yet, but just some more bullpen depth later on for the Brewers. If they're going to, I mean, Easton McGee went up and down how many times last year for Milwaukee. So definitely could see him moving around. Chad Patrick also in his career at American Family Field has made 13 starts. This will be his 14th his 17th game officially at American Family Field. Has a 2.89 ERA in his time so far. That's about 71 innings for the righty is as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers. All right, I'll take a quick break again. Then we're going to get into our Building a Winner feature because I am so excited to talk about the minor leagues because there has been some good stuff going on that I think you guys are going to want to hear. Some updated Brewers prospect rankings and oh my goodness, Blake Burke, have yourself a start to the 2026 campaign. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Brewers lineup, in case you missed it from earlier in the program. Bryce Terang back in the lineup today. He's at second base leading off for the Crew. William Contreras is catching, batting second. Christian Yelich, the DH, will bat third. Garrett Mitchell is in the cleanup spot in center field for Milwaukee. Jake Bauers at the 5 spot will play first base. Luis Rengifo at third base bats sixth. Sal Frelick in right field will bat 7th today for the Brewers. Blake Perkins in left field batting 8th. David Hamilton rounds things out. He is the shortstop batting 9th for the Crew.
The key to building a winner in baseball is a strong minor league system. Who are the names we should know? How did they play in their last game? It's time for Building a Winner. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Yes, time for another Building a Winner feature right here on the leadoff show as we take a look around the minor leagues in the Milwaukee Brewers farm affiliates. If you guys are new to the leadoff show this year, we did this all last year as well, and it gets you really excited as you hear these names and you hear the stories that come from them after. Maybe not necessarily all big league quite yet, but hey, Cooper Pratt was on our radar before he got the 8-year, $50 million deal, right? From talking about him and his performances with AA all last season. I want to read you guys the Timber Rattlers lineup for today because you guys got to find your way to Appleton. If you are not looking, if you are wondering whether or not you should, if you're not busy, you got to find your way there. But we always start with AAA.
Nashville Sounds.
Yeah, Nashville won last game 6-3 over the Gwinnett Stripers as they now are 6-5 on the season. Eddys Leonard 2 for 5 with 2 homers in the contest. Luis Lara has been having a fantastic start to his 2026 as Lara is hitting .351 now with a .983 OPS. He had 3 hits in his last game. He has 13 hits across his 37 ABs, a .442 on base percentage for Lara. Some other numbers, though, however. Brock Wilken, it has been a tough showing so far for the Brewers' former first-round pick. 1 hit in 34 ABs right now to start. That is a 0.29. Yeah, 29 batting average right now for Brock Wilken. Has to turn things around. Jet Williams went 2 for 4 in the game against Gwinnett. However, he's batting just .184 on the season. Kind of was nursing an injury, trying to find his way back, but also part of that return, of course, for Brewers ace Freddie Peralta. Luke Adams, 1 for 5 in the game. Jefferson Caro picking up a hit along the way. And Greg Jones, man, don't sleep on Greg Jones right now. He was up with the club all spring, and he's had a great start as well to his minor league season. 9 hits so far. He's hitting .300 as an OPS of .867 so far. Today for the Nashville, Robert Gasser back and is scheduled to start at 6 o'clock today. That promising after we heard some injury news coming from him. They were just taking it a little bit slower. Robert Gasser will be back today for the Sounds.
Biloxi Shuckers.
This is what I've been waiting to talk about for maybe the entire show. The Biloxi Shuckers, as they won 15-3 over the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. It is the 4th most runs they have ever scored in a game in franchise history. Versus Montgomery back in 2024, they put up 19. According to Biloxi, 48 runs scored through the first 6 games are the second most by any Southern League team ever since 2005. Blake Burke has been on an absolute tear right now for AA Biloxi. He does not have one. He doesn't have two. No, not 3, 4, or 5, but 6 homers so far in his first 6 games right now with the Shuckers.
Burke lines it deep into left center. And this ball is gone.
Blake Burke really is the MVP so far to start for anyone in the Brewers organization, as he has an OPS of 1345 right now with those 6 homers. He's hitting 296. He has 8 hits. 6 of them have gone over the wall. And on top of that, Jesus Madej, man, we know this guy is going to be a stud when he gets to the big league level, and he is showing that at AA right now, as he is currently hitting 370, has an OPS over 1,000, a homer as well during that stretch, has stolen 3 bags. He is currently MLB Pipeline's number 3 prospect. However, the top 2 have now made it to the major league level, all signs pointing to when the 2 Connor Griffin and Kevin McGonigal graduate from prospect status, the Milwaukee Brewers will have the new number 1 prospect in all of baseball, and his name is Jesus Madej. He is the youngest player in AA. He is just 18 years old. We've heard it plenty of times, but he has been killing it so far with Biloxi, as they are 4-2 to start the year. And hey, Mike Bovee, we all kind of forgot about Mike Bovee after a lot last year. He's hitting 318, has a 919 OPS, picked up a hit as well in that 15-3 victory over Pensacola. Brett Witrowski went 5 innings, had 2 runs allowed in the contest, struck out 5 during that, and Eric Brown 2 for 4 with a double, 3 runs driven in, a stolen base. We were just talking about Eric Brown, I believe, on the post-game show today. By the way, pitching for AA, it'll be Bishop Letson, who is currently the Brewers' number 9 prospect in the system.
Wisconsin Timber Rattlers.
Timber Rattlers, it'll be Bryce Message pitching for them today. They lost 11-1 over the Quad City River Bandits, but do not let that fool you, because there is an awesome lineup today with some amazing talent for Wisconsin playing today. Luis Pena to lead things off. That's the Brewers' number 2 prospect. Andrew Fisher will be batting second. He is the Brewers' number 6 prospect. Marco Dinges is the Brewers' number 10 prospect. He will bat third today. And even Eric Batanti, who was in and out of the top 10 last year, pretty close to a top 15, 20 guy in the system. He's in the cleanup role, all while Bryce Message, another top 20 prospect, will be pitching today for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. That is a phenomenal game. Make sure you guys go to the Bally Sports Live app if you want to keep an eye on that. That's free. All you need is an account, and they get you hooked up with all levels of minor league baseball. And again, Luis Pena, Andrew Fisher, Marco Dinges, I don't think all 3 of them will not be at that level at some point this year. However far they will advance, that will be up to them. On the year so far for the Timber Rattlers, looking at what they have done, Braylon Payne is another one to keep an eye on, but Fisher is hitting 294 so far. Marco Dinges hitting 333, has had a fantastic start. Luis Pena had the off day just yesterday. He'll be back in the lineup again today. We're all excited to see him. And the Wilson Warbirds, let's not forget the low A affiliate, Filippo DeTuri is kind of the name we've been looking at from them, and Brady Abel. Brady Abel was the Brewers' 2nd first-round pick last year, the comp pick, remember. He's off to a rough start, 2 for 24 to start the season right now. However, I'm assuming things will change pretty strongly for him. No Jaden Fielder to report, really. He went 1 for 4 last time around. That was just his 2nd hit to start the season. He's hitting 133, a 321 OPS. That's the feel-good story to look ahead at Jaden Fielder, of course, because he is the son of Prince. Other names to look at, just rounding out the top 10 prospect according to MLB Pipeline, in case you forgot. We talked about Jet Williams. He's the Brewers' number 3. Cooper Pratt, the Brewers' number 4. Sprout at the big league level is the Brewers' number 5. The Brewers have 6 top 100 prospects, and that doesn't include Logan Henderson, who's the Brewers' number 7 prospect, Jefferson Caro, the Brewers' number 8 prospect. Both guys we've seen at the big league level this year. They are ready for major league ball, and they're not even in MLB Pipeline's top 100 right now. Cannot wait to continue on with this Brewers Building a Winner feature, because it's been all good news, all good things popping out right now. And the number 1 farm for a reason. They've had some fantastic teams to watch this year. Timber Rattlers are going to be fun. Biloxi is going to be awesome as well, as long as that team stays together. But hey, if Blake Burke's going to hit 2 homer games like he just did yesterday, assuming that he's going to be moving up quite a bit too. Madej, I think they want to get a contract worked out with him before they would have him find any big league time. I mean, they'd got something done with Cooper Pratt, who we're monitoring what he's doing at the AAA level now with his deal and his clock starting so far for the Milwaukee Brewers. And right now, I think Madej is kind of blocked with Pratt having his deal, shortstop up in the big leagues. I don't think they think he's quite ready. Next year, it's all setting up for Jesus Madej, I would think, to be close to the starting shortstop, if not somewhere else on the big league roster, if he continues this. Hitting 370 as the youngest kid in AA right now. Truly awesome stuff to see. All right. We're still getting ready for Brewers Nationals. Got about 30 minutes or so until first pitch, until we're out of here, actually, rather. First pitch scheduled for 6:40 from American Family Field. If you missed it, Aaron Ashby will be the opener today. Chad Patrick will be the first man out of the pen. Pat Murphy loving to always go with that opener. Aaron Ashby seems to be that guy in those moments. Still to come on the program here, we will have some betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook in the next segment of the show. Plus, we're going to get to our keys to the game today, how the Milwaukee Brewers are going to be able to defend themselves against the Washington Nationals. Nationals so far this year, off to a little bit of a rough start. They got a young lineup, of course. They are 4-8 so far this year. Jake Irvin on the other side of things, currently an 8 ERA, as we'll monitor him in this game, and the Brewers have gotten to him in the past so far right now. Programming as well to let you guys know, we will have the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show today, of course, with Tim Allen and myself, as we'll break down all things Brewers Nationals after the last pitch. Make the switch. We'll be live here at 9:30 on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, wherever you might be listening to us, whether that is in Milwaukee, Green Bay, Appleton, the Wausau, Duluth, Superior range, wherever you are. We have that starting at 9:30. It'll be the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show with Tim Allen and myself. We'll do a lot of great things. I'm sure we'll have another rewind going back, looking at a specific day. Do you remember any other April 10ths in Milwaukee Brewers baseball? Anything ring a bell? I don't know. I'm just asking you guys during this. And then, of course, we'll get you some sound from the manager and any other highlights from some players in tonight's performance, as the Brewers will be back at home against the Washington Nationals for another homestand. They'll have the off day on Monday, and then it'll be the Toronto Blue Jays for another 3 games. This is the first National League game. Does anyone care after all this time? It's been American League play, interleague play during this stretch. Well, if you get upset about it, again, after these 3 games, they go right back playing against the American League East and the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, that's the first hour of the show. Let's get you ready on the other side with another half hour of Brewers Nationals coverage, getting you ready for game 1 back at American Family Field. The Wisco jerseys are here. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about those. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time for your fan weather report, brought to you by Aaron's, and this weather report specifically brought to you by the Gravely Zero Turn commercial mowers. Right now 41 degrees, as we are just about 40 or so minutes away from first pitch at American Family Field. Not going to rain tonight or anything. Should be about a high of 47. It is the fan weather report, brought to you by Aaron's.
We're counting down the minutes to the first pitch of today's game.
Yes!
Who's in the starting lineup?
Come on, son. You got to get out there and take the mound. It's game time.
What does the skipper have to say?
It's an attitude. Like you got to be willing to defend. You got to be willing to base run, or you can't play here.
It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wortz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Yes, welcome back. Tommy Wortz here with you as we got done with our first hour of pregame coverage right here on the leadoff show, getting you ready for Brewers Nationals Game 1. If you're watching on YouTube, Mitch Nellis just calling, telling me about all his time going on. If you're at Pfizer Forum, presumably Giannis's last game, I guess, that he's not even playing in. I'm sorry, I'm not talking Bucks. On the leadoff show, Brewers Nationals, Aaron Ashby opening today for the Milwaukee Brewers. Chad Patrick will be the first man out. Got a text here I want to read on the Nicolay Law Talking text line in regards to that. Going up against Jake Irvin, game number 13 on the season. Before we get to that, however, the starting lineups.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Full lineups for both teams in case you missed them earlier in the show. James Wood leading things off in right field for Washington. Curtis Mead at first base will bat second. Dalen Lyle in left field will bat third. Brady House at third base bats fourth today for the Nationals. CJ Abrams is the shortstop batting fifth. An old friend, Joey Weimer in center field will bat sixth. Luis Garcia, the DH, batting seventh. Your beat, Vivas, is the second baseman batting eighth. Keibert Ruiz is the catcher batting ninth. Now the lineup for your Milwaukee Brewers. Bryce Terang at second base to lead things off. He's back after the day off. William Contreras is catching, batting second. Christian Yelich is the DH, batting third. Garrett Mitchell in center field will bat fourth. Jake Bowers at first base will bat fifth. Luis Rengifo at third base will bat sixth. Sal Frelick in right field batting seventh today. Blake Perkins in left field batting eighth. And rounding things out for the crew, the shortstop, David Hamilton. It is interesting as we read the lineups all the time in and out of the break of every single leadoff show. So if you ever tune into the show and it's within an hour before first pitch and you just want to hear the lineup, you can always turn over to this dial here. If you hear a commercial, you know the lineup's coming up out on the other side. And David Hamilton has been getting a lot of playing time so far for this Milwaukee Brewers team and has been virtually platooning with Joey Ortiz. David Hamilton this year, 23 ABs. He's hitting 261, has an on-base percentage of 485 so far. That is one of the best on the team. And Joey Ortiz, 33 at-bats. So not a full slate platoon, but Joey Ortiz has an OPS of 528 so far in 2026, while it's 746 for David Hamilton in his limited time. Remember, Hamilton coming over in the Boston trade that involves Caleb Durbin, Andre Monasterio, and Anthony Siegler. Hamilton kind of a throw-in part of that. He's been getting a lot of valuable playing time so far this year for the Milwaukee Brewers. Something I wanted to bring up, read it here from the 262. I'm sorry to keep being negative here, but what has happened this last week? Continuing again tonight, what is Murph up to this year? We need to horse around with an opener while playing the Nationals. We need Patrick to grow. Rolling him out there, let's start building for the end of the year and the playoffs. Murph seems to be going Costanza this year just to see what works. It's baseball. This can go from 8-4 to 10-16 in no time. Look, 262. I get the emotions. I do. However, I will say Pat Murphy's done a lot to gain my trust over the last 2 years, maybe the best 2-year run in Brewers baseball that doesn't involve a World Series appearance back in 1982. I agree, though. I would love to see Chad Patrick continue to play a vital part, and he should, and we all know he will play a vital part going up until Quinn Priester comes back, at least. And then he's still going to be the number 3 starter, right? Or maybe number 4 if they progress Woodruff during that. Hell, he could be number 5 if Kyle Harrison passes him up during this stretch. But they love Aaron Ashby, and Aaron Ashby is going to be a very important part of this piece too. And we've seen him already. This will be his 8th game of the season. That'll be the most of any Brewers pitcher. He is assuming the role of Aaron Ashby last year in his leverage relief, his opening relief, and a little bit of Nick Mears too, where Nick Mears was just coming in to pitch whenever they needed him. Grant Anderson, same type of vibe. They needed another one of those guys, and it's going to be Aaron Ashby. They've paid Aaron Ashby. They know what they're going to get out of him. He'll be a free agent at the end of his contract. Like, go ahead, use him up as much as you can. He's effective, but he is inevitable. It feels like at this point too. Death taxes Aaron Ashby warming up. He's just going to pitch every single day. Now, a little bit of something different here before we get into some of the betting odds. I wanted to play this for you because today, as we all know, the Brewers will be donning the new Wisco City Connects for the whole weekend against the Washington Nationals. Very polarizing. It feels like some people love them, some people hate them. I got to see how they look, I guess, for the uniforms as they play in them. I'm pretty indifferent. I think it looks cool. I think that it is interesting to go ahead with the statewide approach for City Connect jerseys. However, I don't hate the design. I thought their last ones were amazing. They were going to be really hard to top those baby blues with the grill logos. I thought those were awesome. Now, I will say the fishing bobber logo they have going on, also awesome. I think they've done a great job. I like the orange, like salmon trim they got going on here. I am a fan of it. And Adam McCalvey, Brewers reporter for MLB.com, went behind the scenes with the equipment staff, Jason Schauger, as the Brewers will debut their new City Connects starting today. Here's some of that interview.
Jason, what goes into outfitting a team an entirely new uniform and everything else that they wear throughout the day for the first time?
It starts about 14 to 16 months out from the launch date, and there's tons of meetings and prep work. And then when we actually get to the part where we get all the product in, then it's weeks and weeks and months even of just prepping and getting ready, counting everything, following up on all the details, make sure that everything came that we had ordered, and just going through the paces of a checklist, basically.
How many different pieces would you say the players are going to wear from start to finish today?
Players were issued, counting hats and jerseys, approximately 14 items. And then position players, helmets, then catchers have, like, Gary Sanchez has really cool catching gear from Rollins. So it's total it's like 14 items.
And then you always go a little extra and do all the other small things, small details out there on the field and in the dugout. Why do you like to do that?
I don't really view it as extra. I view it as the way it should be. So I try to basically have everything match. Some stuff's a little challenging. This one was challenging because of the colorway with Nike that they chose was a little unique. And some of the fabrics and stuff were hard to match. So we did our best.
Why do you take such pride in having everything be just so?
Good question. I don't know, just from the moment I walked into Major League Clubhouse and saw how I thought it should be, and learning over the years and, seeing things from my peers. There's a lot of guys that I admire and things they do, and just always trying to not end up on what used to be UniWatch. I don't think it exists anymore, but if you do end up on there for good, not mistakes.
There is Jason Schauger from Adam McCalvey on his Instagram page talking about what goes into these new uniforms. However you feel about them, hey, Jason Schauger, good job, boss.
At the wall, looking up. See you later.
Let's get the latest on today's odds for the game. What's the best way to go? Let's check in with our expert from the Potawatomi Sportsbook to find out. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Our betting odds always courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Some big news as we saw Governor Evers signing some sort of bill in regards to online betting through an app. Going to be shared revenue maybe through all the tribes in Wisconsin with the casino. We'll see what happens. I heard it's going to take still 9 months to a year before anything is really finalized, but it sure sounds like online betting through the Potawatomi Sportsbook, yes, is coming sooner rather than later here in Wisconsin. All right, let's get to the betting odds today, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. As we look at the money line, the Brewers are favored today, minus 220. If you want the run line, you'll get plus money at plus 108 on the Brewers, minus 1.5. And the over-under set at 8.5 today. We will build a nice little parlay, as we always do, to get a nice little something out there. Let's take the Brewers minus 1.5. Get some better odds there. All right. So you're starting off at plus 108. You get the Brewers victory. They got to win by 2 or more. Looking for hits today, as we mentioned. There's a lot of guys who are struggling right now in this Brewers lineup from the last road trip, and you want to be timely with what's went on also in the lineup. Garrett Mitchell is at minus 195. I would love to put him in there because he's had a great stretch. As we mentioned, Garrett Mitchell drove in 8 runs over those 6 games on the road against Kansas City and against Boston. And then grabbing someone from the other side of things that always makes the odds go up a little bit. Let's go with old friend Joey Wiemer, right? Over half a hit as well today. So Garrett Mitchell to record a hit, Joey Wiemer to record a hit today, and the Brewers minus 1.5 on the run line will pay you plus 440, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And hey, if you guys were going to the game today, or you're going to a game any other day, make sure you guys are using that Potawatomi Sportsbook shuttle, because it is an awesome service. And for instance, all you got to do is place a $5 wager at the sportsbook. Go show them at the counter that, hey, I placed this $5 wager on Brewers run line, Garrett Mitchell and Joey Wiemer to record a hit today. You pay the $5. You'll get a wristband. They will take you to the game. They will bring you back from the game to the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You could get that bet to hit while you paid $5 to get on. It'll pay $22 if those guys all accomplish getting a hit and the Brewers do win by 2 or more today. You could actually get paid to get a ride to the game. We got to see the shuttle service in full action on opening day. A bunch of teammates over here at the Milwaukee building using that to get to and from the stadium. And again, it's such a sweet deal. Every Brewers home game, they got 3 different shuttles going back and forth trying to help out with the local community. You can park for free at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Take that shuttle. You save a bunch of money on weekend parking over at American Family Field. When the Cubs are in town, you better do this. It's just a great idea all around. Again, the parlay for the people today. Brewers run line, Garrett Mitchell and Joey Wiemer to each record a hit today. That'll pay plus 440, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. All right. One more break, and we'll get you today's keys to the game as we'll wrap up our conversation talking Brewers Nationals ahead of game number 1. And then don't forget, after the last pitch today, make the switch right back here to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, as we will have Tim Allen and myself for the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show, breaking down all things Brewers Nationals after game 1 today. But until then, we got one more segment here on the Leadoff Show live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Lineups one last time as we are in our final segment of the show today, part of the leadoff show. James Wood to lead things off in right field for the Nationals. Curtis Mead, the first baseman, will bat second. Dalen Lyle in left field will bat third. Brady House, the third baseman, bats fourth. C.J. Abrams is the shortstop batting fifth for Washington. Joey Weimer in center field will bat sixth. Luis Garcia, the DH, batting seventh. Yorbit Vivas is the second baseman, batting eighth. Keibert Ruiz is catching, batting ninth. Now for the Crew, Bryce Terang is back. He's at second base. He will lead things off for Milwaukee. William Contreras is batting second and catching. Christian Yelich, the DH, bats third. Garrett Mitchell in center field today will bat fourth. Jake Bauers at first base will bat fifth. Luis Rengifo at third base bats sixth. Sal Frelick is the right fielder batting seventh. Blake Perkins in left field will bat eighth. David Hamilton rounds it out. He is the shortstop batting ninth for Milwaukee. And one more thing we got to get to before we get out of here.
How does the Crew win today's game? Who needs to step up? Let's find out with the keys to the game. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Keys to the game, always the last thing we do here on the leadoff show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in since 5 o'clock if you've been here since then, or however, just before first pitch from American Family Field, 6:40 today for the Milwaukee Brewers. It always ends up going to pitching. Feels like all we do is talk about pitching. It is probably the most important part of baseball, right? After all. But is there any shot the Brewers can get 8 innings out of Chad Patrick and Aaron Ashby today? Ashby's going to open, be a 1 to 2 inning guy. I would probably waver more towards the 2 inning guy. Chad Patrick comes in. Could he get 6 innings today? Maybe that's a lot, but for sure 7, right? Brewers need 7 innings out of Chad Patrick and Aaron Ashby today. If they get that, I think they'll be in a good shape to win this contest against Washington. And then the other side, let's talk about these bats, because that has been the problem for the Brewers over the last couple of days, or last couple of games, that is. The Brewers put up 2 runs in the last 2 games against Boston, including the 3-2 loss in that Miz Crochet pitchers duel, and then 5-0 in Shane Drowan's debut in Major League Baseball. And we mentioned these names at the beginning of the show, but someone got to catch fire here. I'm really looking at Luis Rengifo. He's been playing quite a bit. This will be his 10th game of the season for the Brewers. He went 174 over that road trip, and that raised his batting average. He's hitting just 167 so far on the season. Going to need something out of that third base position. Gary Sanchez not in the lineup today. Bryce Terang, however, is back, and I think he is going to be all season long, and even more so right now when there is no Jackson Churio and there is no Andrew Vaughn. He is going to be the straw stirring the drink all year for the Brewers. He went 1 for 15 on the road. Need to get him back into the swing of things, and he's leading things off for the Crew in the bottom half of the first inning. That should be, everyone should be watching. That'll be must watch to see what Bryce Terang can do right back. Jake Bauers, my guy. I'm nothing but honest with him. I think he's great, but went 1 for 15 on the road. Definitely needs to turn things around as well on that road trip. He comes back now to American Family Field with an opportunity to turn things around. And Joey Ortiz, I don't know if we won't see him all day, probably with David Hamilton in the lineup, but his road trip wasn't great either. 2 for 15 during that stretch. All of those names looking to turn things around. Now, however, ride the hot hand with guys like Garrett Mitchell, who hit 333 over that stretch on the road. Christian Yelich was 8 for 22, a great run in Kansas City and against Boston. Those are guys we got to look at today to keep things moving. All right. Bryce Terang for sure needs to be the number one guy to watch after dealing with some arthritis or tendonitis. Sorry, not arthritis, tendonitis in the ankle 2 days ago, getting that off day, making sure he's healthy. Everyone's back to normal there. And again, if you're going to open with Aaron Ashby, I would still love to see Chad Patrick go deep in this ball game. They can get 7 innings out of those two guys. That's going to be massive for the Brewers. Those are today's keys to the game. And we are just a couple of minutes away. And I want to do one more thing. As it's the last time, get it all out today. Everything out today about the City Connect uniforms. All right. I don't want to hear it all weekend. They're fine to me. I'm indifferent about them. It's cool, I guess. Feels like every year all these teams seem to mess them up, but get it all out today. If you like them, if you hate them, that's cool. They're going to use them 15 times this year. That's all you're going to see for it. 15 times this year. You're going to see them, and 3 of them are this weekend against the Washington Nationals. Just get it all out. If you don't want to talk about them after this weekend, I don't want to talk about them after today. I like the hat that I got on. I think it's a cool hat. I like the jerseys a little bit. The rest of the stuff, it's whatever. The hats, it's fine to me. I'm not wearing like a game issued hat by any means. If you're just listening on the radio, it's a little more trucker style for it. But sure enough, the Brewers are going to be debuting them, and they've been off to a great start. But to the 262's point, can't mosey around now. Very early in the season. You can't win a division in April, but you can lose one. They are 8-4. It is the best record in the NL Central, and it's the second best record in all of Major League Baseball. I want to do a little bit of MLB standings watch, as we used to do that on Sundays. I will not be here this Sunday. Mitch Thundernell is filling in for me. Thank you to him. Brewers currently at the top, 8-4 of the NL Central. The Reds 8-5. Pirates as well, 8-5. The Cardinals 7-5, and the Chicago Cubs are 6-7 so far on the year. Leading the NL East, that is the Atlanta Braves and the Miami Marlins, both 8-5 so far, while the Nationals sit at the bottom at 4-8. They have the worst record in the National League right now. The Dodgers, of course, at the top of the NL West. They are 9-3. And then looking out the American League side, which we traditionally wouldn't do, but all the Brewers do have played American League teams throughout the first 12 games of the season. The Yankees are 8-4. They lead the AL East. The Guardians 8-5 atop the AL Central, and the Texas Rangers 7-5 at the top of the AL West. Just 4 teams, yes, are above 500 on the American League start. Really weird start to the 2026 year, but it all continues today. Brewers, Nationals, first pitch just about 10 minutes away. That's going to do it for me here. Thanks so much for tuning into the Leadoff Show. We will be back tomorrow, 6:10 first pitch, 5 o'clock leadoff show. An hour special. Whenever the game starts at 6:40, we go an hour and a half. Whenever the game starts on the top of the hour, we're always going to go just an hour. All right. But I love talking Brewers baseball, and I'm going to do more of that tonight with Tim Allen on the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show. That begins at 9:30 today. So make sure after that last pitch, you make the switch over to the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, as we will talk all things Brewers Nationals behind game 1, and get you ready for game 2 as Kyle Harrison making his third start of his Brewers tenure. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. And one more thing before you go, don't forget, send them home.